The stars looked different from the observation deck of the horizon. Captain Alan Frost stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the vast alien space station grow larger as they approached. After all humanity's years of looking up at the stars and wondering if they were alone, the answer had come 3 years ago. No, they were not alone. Not by a long shot. "Captain, we're receiving docking instructions," said Communications Officer Greg Howard. The young man's voice cracked slightly with excitement. Frost nodded. "Relay them to navigation, Greg, and remember everyone, we represent all of Earth today." The Horizon wasn't Earth's most advanced ship, but it was the most diplomatic choice. Smaller, less armed, and designed for deep space exploration. The perfect vessel to show peaceful intentions. Lieutenant Diane Miller checked her uniform one last time. As head of security, she knew her team had been chosen for their calm under pressure. "Sir, I've briefed the crew on all known customs of the Council species. Still, there are 12 different races in there. We can't possibly know all their social taboos. That's why we'll stick to the universal greeting protocols they sent us," Frost replied. "Simple, respectful, minimal movement. We're here to listen more than talk." The ship shuddered as docking clamps engaged. Through the viewport, they could see the massive circular chamber where representatives from a dozen worlds waited. Some were roughly humanoid, others completely alien in form. Floating gas sacks, crystalline structures, and things that looked like walking plant life. "I never thought I'd see this day," whispered Dr. Vivian Ross, the mission's chief scientist. "Actual alien civilizations working together in peace." Frost gave a tight smile. "Let's hope we can join them." The airlock cycled, and Earth's first diplomatic team stepped into galactic society. They moved slowly, following the practiced protocol. The chamber was vast, with atmospheric barriers separating some species from others. At the center stood a raised platform where translators and environmental controls allowed communication. A tall insect-like being with iridescent blue carapace approached. "Welcome, Earth beings. I am Ambassador Krylix of the Andarian Commonwealth. We speak for the Council in initial contacts." Captain Frost performed the greeting gesture they had practiced. Arms open, palms forward, head slightly bowed. "We bring greetings from Earth. We come seeking peaceful exchange of knowledge and friendship." The various council members observed from their sections. Some used mechanical devices to move closer. Others sent drone projections to view the humans. Miller noticed how they were being studied, like specimens in a lab. Something felt off, but she couldn't place it. "Your species has been observed since your first radio transmissions," Krylix continued. "Only now has your development reached the threshold for contact. Please approach the central platform for formal introduction to the Council." As they walked forward, Miller noticed a group of red-skinned aliens with prominent neck frills watching them intently. Unlike the others who showed curiosity, these seemed tense, their frills expanding and contracting rapidly. "Captain?" she whispered. "The red ones to our left, Phyrexians, if I remember correctly. They seem agitated." Frost nodded subtly. "Stay, alert but non-threatening. Remember, our body language might mean something completely different to them." On the central platform, representatives from each species began formal introductions. The process was tedious, filled with ceremonial exchanges that their translators struggled to convey properly. 2 hours in, Greg Howard shifted uncomfortably, tired from standing at attention. When the Phyrexian ambassador approached, the tension in the room seemed to increase. The translator spoke. "High Commander Zex of the Phyrexian Imperium acknowledges your presence. The Imperium questions the wisdom of admitting predator-evolved species to the Council." Frost kept his diplomatic smile. "We understand concerns about our history, but humanity has evolved beyond our origins. We seek peaceful cooperation." The Phyrexians' neck frills expanded fully, a warning sign they hadn't been briefed on. "Your kind hunted for sport. You evolved from pack hunters with aggressive territorial instincts. Such traits are considered dangerous in civilized space." Miller stepped slightly closer to Frost, her training sensing the escalating situation. She caught Greg Howard's eye, giving him a warning look not to make any sudden movements. Too late. Greg, attempting to appear non-threatening, smiled widely at the Vrexian and raised his hand in what humans would consider a friendly wave. The room erupted in alarm. The Vrexian delegation backed away rapidly, neck frills fully extended and vibrating. Warning sounds blared throughout the station. "What happened?" Frost demanded. The Andarian ambassador rushed forward. "Your officer just displayed the Vrexian combat challenge. Showing teeth while raising a limb is a direct threat of violence." Greg's face paled. "I was just waving hello." Before Frost could explain, Vrexian guards entered the chamber, carrying what were clearly weapons. Miller reacted instinctively, moving to protect her captain. "Sir, we need to return to the ship now." The Horizon's automated defense systems, detecting armed approaches to the docked vessel, activated without command. A warning shot fired across the bay, striking a small Vrexian ceremonial vessel. The decorative craft, filled with volatile ceremonial oils, erupted in a spectacular explosion. Council members scattered in panic. Alarms blared throughout the station. The human delegation ran for their ship as security forces converged from all directions. "This is a misunderstanding," Frost shouted, but the translation was lost in the chaos. They barely made it back to the Horizon, sealing the airlock as the first energy weapons struck the hull. Navigation Officer Paul Jones had already started emergency undocking procedures. "Get us out of here now," Frost ordered as he reached the bridge. The ship broke free, sustaining damage as it fled the station. Defense systems automatically returned fire, causing more destruction than intended against the unprepared station defenses. Once clear, they jumped to faster-than-light travel, following their emergency protocols to a random point before heading toward Earth. In the tense quiet of the bridge afterward, Dr. Ross monitored communications channels. "They're calling us unprovoked aggressors. The Vrexians are demanding immediate action against Earth." "It was a cultural misunderstanding," Frost said, his voice hollow. A wave and a smile. Miller's console lit up with intercepted data. "Sir, you need to see this. They're sharing detailed scans of our biology, our ship. They're classifying us as an extreme threat species." Frost read the translation with growing horror. "According to this, our physiological responses, our adaptability, our ability to function under stress. They're saying we're potentially the most dangerous species they've ever encountered." Greg Howard slumped in his chair. "And I just declared war on them with a friendly wave." "Set course for Earth, maximum speed," Frost ordered. "We need to warn them. The galaxy's deadliest species is coming for them, and they think we started this war." 6 months had passed since the Horizon returned to Earth with news of the disastrous first contact. The United Earth Defense Command Center buzzed with activity day and night. In the main strategy room, Admiral Susan Kelly studied the holographic display of the solar system where red markers showed the latest positions of alien scout ships. "They're testing our defenses, not actually attacking yet," she said to the officers gathered around the table. "But that won't last forever." Dr. Frank Peters, the tall, thin xenobiologist who had spent months studying the alien data from the Horizon, pushed his glasses up his nose. "The Council still doesn't fully understand us. That's why they're watching instead of just attacking. Outright." "Explain," Admiral Kelly said. Peters pulled up images on the main screen. "Most intelligent species out there evolved from herd or colony organisms. They're naturally cooperative with strict hierarchies and predictable behaviors." He showed diagrams of the various alien physiologies. Humans evolved as predators with complex social structures. The combination of our aggressive instincts, territoriality, and high intelligence makes us an anomaly. Captain Alan Frost, who had been given a position on the Defense Council after the incident, nodded grimly. "They're scared of us. The Vrexians, especially, seem to think we're too dangerous to be allowed into wider galactic society." In the adjacent lab, NASA engineer Olivia Grant worked alongside former combat pilot Ben Martinez. Their team was tasked with adapting alien technology recovered from a downed scout ship. The room was cluttered with dissected alien devices and prototype weapons. "Look at this," Olivia said, pointing to a comparison chart. "Their ships use a single control system. If it fails, everything fails. They never developed our level of redundancy." Ben lifted a modified rifle. Same with their weapons. More advanced but more fragile. In combat conditions, our simpler tech might actually have advantages. He aimed the rifle at a test target. They also don't account for rain, extreme heat, or dust. It's like they only fight in perfect conditions. Their work was interrupted by an alarm. Red lights flashed throughout the facility as a voice announced, "Unknown craft approaching Earth atmosphere. This is not a drill." In the command center, officers rushed to stations as Admiral Kelly ordered defensive measures. "Get me visual," she commanded. The main screen showed a small, sleek vessel unlike the military craft they had observed before. It was broadcasting a signal on multiple frequencies. "It's requesting permission to land," said the communications officer. "Claims to be a single non-Vrexian envoy with critical information." After lengthy debate and extreme security precautions, the alien was brought to the facility. It, or rather, he, as the translator indicated a male identity, was tall and slender with pale blue skin and forearms. He called himself Telex, a scientist from the Andarian species. "I come without council approval," Telex explained through the translator device. "What happened with your ship was a deliberate provocation by the Vrexians. They have been manipulating the council's perception of humans." Admiral Kelly studied the alien carefully. "Why should we believe you?" "Because my people value truth above politics," Telex replied. "The Vrexians have pushed for your extinction while blocking all attempts at further communication. They claim humans are too unpredictable and dangerous to negotiate with." Dr. Peters stepped forward. "What exactly do they fear about us?" Telex's large eyes blinked slowly. "Everything. Your biology allows you to survive in environments that would kill most species. Your history shows you can endure incredible hardship and still fight. But most concerning to them is your cognitive adaptability." He displayed images from his own device. "These are simulations the Vrexians presented to the Council. They show humans adapting to any weapon or strategy used against them, then developing countermeasures within a single generation. They argue that in a century, humans would become the dominant force in the galaxy." Captain Frost frowned. "So their solution is to wipe us out before we can defend ourselves?" "Yes," Telex confirmed. "The Council has voted to neutralize Earth. The Vrexians have even proposed testing biological weapons as they consider direct combat too risky." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Ben Martinez spoke up from the back. "Then we'll just have to show them their right to be afraid." The following week saw frantic preparation. Earth's military forces unified under a single command structure for the first time in history. Weapons research accelerated with Telex's help, who provided insights into alien technology vulnerabilities. Dr. Peters made a breakthrough when analyzing the alien physiology data. "Their sensory systems are different from ours. Most council species evolved in stable environments and can't handle rapid changes in light or sound. We can use that." Olivia Grant led a team that modified Earth's satellites into a defensive grid. They're not used to fighting opponents who use lower tech. Their sensors are calibrated for advanced energy signatures, not old-school kinetic weapons. The first real attack came 30 days after Telex's arrival. A Vrexian battle group targeted military installations across the globe with precision, strikes from orbit. Earth's new defenses, while still primitive by alien standards, surprised the attackers with their effectiveness. Near what was once the Ramstein Air Base in Germany, Colonel Eric Daniels led a counterattack using modified alien tech combined with conventional weapons. The Vrexian ground forces, expecting an easy victory, were unprepared for humans fighting with what their tactical AI considered obsolete and illogical methods. "They expect us to retreat when outgunned," Daniels told his troops. "Instead, we're going to charge right at them." The aliens, programmed to fight against logical opponents using optimal strategies, couldn't adapt quickly enough to human unpredictability. The battle ended with humans capturing valuable alien technology and prisoners. In orbit, the situation was more dire. Earth's space defenses were still outmatched by alien vessels. Several cities suffered heavy damage from orbital strikes. Admiral Kelly met with the Defense Council, her face grim. We can't win a conventional war against their technology, but we don't fight conventionally. She pointed to data on the alien fleet's movements. They follow precise, predictable patterns. They value efficiency above all else. So we'll be inefficient, unpredictable, and absolutely ruthless. Captain Frost, who had witnessed firsthand the aliens' reaction to human unpredictability, nodded in agreement. The very thing they fear about us will be what saves us. As the first wave of alien ships pushed deeper into Earth's atmosphere, humanity prepared to prove just how dangerous they could be when fighting for survival. The aliens had wanted to prevent humans from spreading to the stars. Instead, they had awakened the full potential of the galaxy's deadliest species. The alien ship crashed in a ball of fire just outside of Denver. Colonel Eric Daniels led his squad toward the wreckage, their modified weapons ready. They wore simple protective gear enhanced with pieces of alien technology. Not as elegant as the aliens' suits, but far more adaptable to changing conditions. Remember, we need that ship's navigation system intact, he told his team. And if there are survivors, we take them alive. The smoking hull of the alien vessel had already attracted attention. National Guard Captain Lisa Reyes had evacuated civilians from the area and set up a perimeter. Her people weren't as well equipped as Daniel's special forces, but they knew the terrain. "Colonel," she greeted him, "we've detected movement inside. At least 3 life forms." Daniels nodded. "Good work. Now we need your people to create a distraction on the east side while we enter from the west." "With all due respect, sir, that's not the best approach," Reyes said. She pulled up a map on her tablet. "These buildings give us cover. If your team enters from the north while we make noise from multiple locations, they won't know where the real threat is coming from." Daniels considered her suggestion and smiled. "This is why we're winning, Captain. They have one plan. We have dozens." They implemented Reyes's strategy. The National Guard troops set off controlled explosions and fired into the air from different positions. The aliens, confused by the seemingly chaotic attack pattern, didn't notice Daniel's team approaching until it was too late. Inside the downed ship, they found 3 Vrexian soldiers, injured but alive. The aliens tried to fight, but were quickly subdued. "Their armor is impressive," said Sergeant Joe Adams, examining a captured piece. "But it's designed for specific conditions. When those conditions change, it fails completely." Daniels accessed the ship's computer using techniques developed by Dr. Frank Peters. "Let's see what these guys know." Back at Earth Defense Command, Admiral Kelly received Daniels' report with satisfaction. "Every ship we capture gives us more information." "Dr. Peters, what have you learned from the prisoners?" The xenobiologist pulled up his findings on the main screen. "The Vrexians and other council species are physiologically adapted to specific environmental conditions. They can't handle extremes of temperature, pressure, or atmospheric composition without extensive support systems." He showed comparison charts. A trained human soldier can function effectively in environments ranging from desert heat to Arctic cold, from sea level to high altitude, with minimal protective gear. What they consider deadly combat zones, we find merely uncomfortable. In another part of the facility, Olivia Grant and Ben Martinez worked with the alien technology captured in recent battles. Telex, the Andarian defector, helped translate the technical details. "Their ships rely on precise mathematical formulas for combat," Ben noted. "They don't understand our willingness to take calculated risks or sacrifice tactical advantage for strategic gains." Olivia nodded as she integrated human control systems with alien power sources. "They expect us to value efficiency above all else. They don't understand that humans sometimes choose the harder path deliberately." On the diplomatic front, UN Representative Samantha Collins worked with Telex to broadcast messages to individual council species, exploiting the political divisions Telex had revealed. "The Andarians value truth," Telex explained. "Show them evidence that the Vrexians manipulated first contact. The Tellurites respect strength but hate dishonor. If they learn the Vrexians engineered this conflict, they may withdraw support." Collins crafted messages targeting each species' particular values and concerns. "We need to break their coalition," she told her team. We can't defeat them all, but we might be able to isolate the Vrexians. The strategy began to show results. 3 months into the major conflict, 2 council species announced they would no longer participate in actions against Earth. The Vrexians, however, responded by intensifying their attacks. Military strategist William Boyd proposed a bold new approach. "We need to stop thinking defensively," he told Admiral Kelly. "Instead of protecting Earth directly, we should target their supply lines and communication relays." "That leaves Earth vulnerable," Kelly pointed out. "Yes," Boyd agreed, "but it's a risk they won't expect us to take. Their combat doctrine is built around protecting their home advantages at all costs. They can't conceive of a species willing to risk their home planet for a strategic edge." After heated debate, Kelly approved the plan. Earth's most advanced ships, incorporating captured alien technology, launched a series of raids against Vrexian supply posts while their main fleet was positioned near Earth. The Vrexian commander, High General Zex, could not understand the human strategy. They leave their world undefended to attack minor outposts? This defies all combat logic. When the Vrexians moved to take advantage of Earth's seemingly foolish strategy, they discovered the trap. Their supply lines overextended, their communications disrupted. They found themselves fighting in Earth's orbit without proper support. Meanwhile, captured alien data revealed a disturbing truth. Lieutenant Diane Miller, who had been analyzing Vrexian communications, brought her findings to Captain Frost and Admiral Kelly. "The Vrexians didn't just meet us through the Council," she explained. "They've been studying Earth for centuries. They cataloged us long ago and marked humans for eventual harvesting, not for resources but as biological weapons to use against their Council rivals." Frost's face darkened. "So this war was engineered," Miller confirmed. "They needed justification to acquire human subjects for their weapons program. When we became space-capable faster than expected, they manipulated the first contact to ensure conflict. This information, when transmitted to the remaining Council allies of the Vrexians, had immediate impact. 3 more species withdrew from the coalition, citing ethical violations of Council law. In orbit above Mars, a massive battle turned in Earth's favor when human ships demonstrated tactics no alien algorithm could predict. Colonel Daniels, now commanding a captured and modified alien cruiser, led his crew to victory despite being outgunned and outnumbered. "They keep expecting us to follow optimal engagement protocols," he told his crew as they celebrated. "They still don't understand that humans write new rules when the old ones don't work." As news of human victories spread across the solar system, Admiral Kelly met with Earth's leadership to plan the next phase. "We're no longer just defending Earth," she told them. "Now we take the fight to them." Dr. Peters added, "They called us the galaxy's deadliest species. Perhaps it's time we showed them exactly why." The war room fell silent as Admiral Susan Kelly unveiled the plans for Operation Wildcard. 8 months had passed since the first alien attacks, and Earth forces had moved from desperate defense to careful offense. "We will strike 5 major Vrexian outposts simultaneously," Kelly explained, pointing to locations on the holographic display. "Not their strongest bases, but their most vital supply and communication hubs." Dr. Frank Peters stood next to her. "Meanwhile, we'll deploy the virus we've developed. It targets only Vrexian technology and should temporarily disable their weapons systems." Captain Alan Frost, who had witnessed the start of this conflict, studied the plan carefully. "The Council forces have never faced an enemy willing to accept such high casualties for strategic gains. They still don't understand how far humans will go when our survival is at stake." In the engineering bay, Olivia Grant made final adjustments to Earth's first true battleship, incorporating alien technology. The vessel, named Thunderbolt, looked nothing like the elegant alien ships. It was bulky, with obvious armor plating and multiple redundant systems. "It's not pretty," she told Ben Martinez as they walked through the main corridor. "But it will still work even when half the systems are blown to hell." Ben ran his hand along a control panel. "The aliens build ships that function perfectly until damaged, then fail completely. We build ships that keep fighting with duct tape and determination." The Thunderbolt wasn't alone. Earth had managed to build or convert 7 major vessels using captured technology, each one crewed by the best military personnel from around the world. They weren't as advanced as the alien ships, but they were designed with human ingenuity and the hard lessons of war. As the Earth fleet prepared to launch, Admiral Kelly received an unexpected message. 2 more Council species, the Andarians and Tellurites, had officially withdrawn from the conflict. The message cited ethical concerns about the increasingly genocidal approach advocated by Vrexian commanders. The Council is fracturing, Telix explained when Kelly showed him the message. Many species now question the Vrexian narrative. They see humans not as mindless predators, but as intelligent beings fighting for survival. Kelly allowed herself a small smile. It's working. Samantha's diplomatic efforts combined with our military strategy are isolating the Vrexians. Operation Wildcard launched the next day. Earthships jumped into Vrexian-controlled space, targeting the designated outposts. The alien defenders, never having faced enemies willing to accept such high casualties for strategic gains, struggled to respond effectively. Aboard the Thunderbolt, Captain John Russell commanded the most daring mission, a raid into core Council space. Their target was a major Vrexian research facility that intelligence suggested held the key to understanding the Vrexians' true motives. They're scrambling to intercept, reported his navigation officer as alien vessels moved to block their approach. At least 7 ships heading our way. Russell nodded calmly. Proceed as planned. Deploy countermeasures on my mark. As the alien ships moved into attack formation, the Thunderbolt suddenly shut down all systems. Drifting without power, it appeared dead in space. The Vrexian vessels approached cautiously. Now, Russell ordered. The Thunderbolt burst back to life, but not as the same ship. Dr. Peters's virus had temporarily reconfigured their energy signature to match Vrexian auxiliary vessels. The confused alien ships hesitated just long enough for the Thunderbolt to slip past their defenses. They don't understand deception in warfare, Russell told his crew. They expect enemies to use optimal force, not tricks and feints. The Thunderbolt reached the research facility and deployed a strike team led by Colonel Eric Daniels. Fighting through surprise defenders, they reached the central database. Download everything, Daniels ordered as his team secured the area. Special focus on anything related to Earth or humans. What they discovered shocked even the battle-hardened soldiers. The facility contained detailed records of Vrexian operations on Earth dating back thousands of years. They had been taking human specimens throughout history, studying our biology and psychology. They've been experimenting on humans for centuries, Daniels reported back to Admiral Kelly, testing our limits, our adaptability, our resistance to various compounds. Dr. Peters analyzed the data as it came in. The Vrexians weren't afraid of us spreading through the galaxy. They wanted to weaponize us. Human adaptability, our immune systems, even our psychology, they planned to use these against other Council species. The most damning evidence was a Vrexian strategic plan. It detailed how they had engineered the disastrous first contact, ensuring humans would be seen as aggressive and unpredictable. The war was simply cover for acquiring more human subjects. Send this to every Council species, Admiral Kelly ordered. Show them what their trusted allies have been planning. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. Within days, the remaining Council alliance completely collapsed. The Vrexians found themselves isolated, with former allies now demanding explanations. Earth gained unexpected allies among the deceived species. The philosophically sophisticated Andarians, who had withdrawn earlier from the conflict, now offered technological assistance. The Tellurites, a proud warrior race, sent ships to fight alongside the human fleet. Even as diplomatic victories mounted, the Vrexians refused to surrender. High General Zex, facing disgrace before the Council, launched a desperate final offensive against Earth. They're all in now, Admiral Kelly told Earth's leaders as reports of the massive Vrexian fleet movement came in. They've committed everything they have left to this attack. Instead of moving to intercept, Kelly ordered a surprising strategy. Earth's defense grid powered down, planetary shields deactivated, and military bases appeared to stand down. Are we surrendering? Asked one shocked official. No, Kelly replied with a grim smile. We're inviting them in. As the Vrexian fleet entered Earth orbit, expecting minimal resistance after detecting the powered-down defenses, Kelly gave the signal. Hidden installations across the planet activated simultaneously, locking targeting systems on the exposed alien ships. Meanwhile, the Thunderbolt and 6 other Earth vessels, along with their new alien allies, emerged from hiding positions behind Earth's moon. The Vrexian fleet, committed to their attack run with no planned retreat, found themselves caught in a perfect crossfire. "They still don't understand," Captain Russell said as he watched the battle unfold from the Thunderbolt's bridge. "Even after all this time fighting us, they still think we follow the same rules they do." As the Vrexian ships began to fall, Admiral Kelly prepared for the final phase of humanity's counterattack. With Council support and new alien allies, Earth forces would take the fight directly to the Vrexian homeworld. "They started this war thinking humans were dangerous predators who needed to be contained," she told her commanders. "Now they'll learn just how right they were." The Vrexian home system appeared on the main view screen of the Thunderbolt. 3 planets orbited an orange sun, with the second world glowing red and blue beneath swirling clouds. Massive space stations and defense platforms surrounded the planet, along with hundreds of warships. Admiral Susan Kelly stood on the bridge of the flagship, surveying the combined human-alien fleet. 10 Earth vessels, including the battle-scarred Thunderbolt, formed the core. Around them flew ships from the Andarians, Tellurites, and 3 other former Council species who had joined the alliance against Vrexian deception. "This is their last stand," Kelly said. "They've recalled all remaining forces to defend their homeworld." Captain John Russell nodded. "Just as we predicted, they follow their military doctrine even when it fails them repeatedly." Dr. Frank Peters monitored readings from the planet. The Vrexian civilian population is mostly underground in protected bunkers. Their military installations are concentrated in the northern hemisphere. Kelly turned to UN Representative Samantha Collins, who had joined this final mission as diplomatic liaison. "Send the message." Collins activated the communication system, her voice firm and clear. "Attention Vrexian leadership. This is the Earth-allied fleet. Your deception has been exposed to the Council. Your forces have been defeated across multiple systems. We offer terms for your immediate and unconditional surrender." The response came quickly. High General Zex appeared on screen, his red skin dark with anger, and his neck frills fully extended. "Humans, you have proven yourselves to be exactly what we claimed: dangerous, unpredictable predators. We will never surrender to your kind." Kelly stepped forward. "Then face the full consequences of having awakened humanity's wartime potential. You started this war. We will finish it." She cut the transmission and turned to her commanders. "Begin the approach. All ships maintain defensive formation. Remember, we aim to neutralize their military capacity, not destroy their civilization." The Earth-allied fleet moved toward the Vrexian defenses. The first exchanges of fire lit up space as energy weapons and kinetic projectiles crossed the void. Vrexian ships fought with desperate precision, their battle algorithms seeking optimal solutions against the human-led forces. But the humans didn't fight according to any recognizable pattern. Ships broke formation to launch seemingly suicidal attacks, only to be covered by allies at the last moment. Others appeared to retreat, drawing Vrexian pursuers into traps. Colonel Eric Daniels led a strike team aboard a specially modified transport vessel. "All teams ready for boarding actions," he commanded. "Target their command ships as planned." Using the chaos of the main battle as cover, Daniels' transports slipped through gaps in the Vrexian defenses. They attached to the hulls of 3 key Vrexian command vessels, cutting their way inside with tools developed specifically for Vrexian alloys. Inside the largest Vrexian ship, Daniels and his soldiers fought through surprised defenders. "They still haven't adapted their internal security," he noted as they easily bypassed automated defense systems. "They can't imagine anyone would board a ship during active combat." While the space battle raged, sensors on the Thunderbolt detected a new threat. Olivia Grant, monitoring the long-range scanners, called out the alarm. "Admiral, the Vrexians have launched something toward Earth. Multiple projectiles, not weapons. They appear to be biological delivery systems." Telex, the Andarian defector who had warned Earth months ago analyzed the data. It's a pathogen, designed to target human neural pathways. Kelly's face hardened. They're trying a last-ditch biological attack. Dr. Peters rushed to his station. We anticipated this. The modified pathogen countermeasure is ready. Months earlier, Peters had developed a defense against potential Vrexian biological weapons, using their own research stolen from their facilities. Now, that foresight would save Earth. Launch the interceptors, Kelly ordered. Special missiles designed to track and neutralize biological weapons streaked away from the Earth vessels. They caught the Vrexian projectiles halfway to their jump points, releasing counter-agents that rendered the pathogens inert. But Peters had prepared more than just a defense. Admiral, we have an opportunity. The countermeasure can be modified to target Vrexian ships. Will it kill them? Kelly asked sharply. No, Peters assured her. It will temporarily paralyze their central nervous system equivalent without causing permanent harm. They'll be incapacitated for hours but fully recover. Kelly considered only a moment. Do it. Target their command ships first. The modified pathogen was released near the Vrexian flagship. It penetrated their life support systems, quickly affecting the crews. Throughout the Vrexian fleet, ships suddenly drifted out of formation as their commanders and crews seized up, unable to control their vessels. The irony is perfect, Russell commented. They tried to use biology as a weapon against us and we turned it back on them, but chose not to kill. With the Vrexian leadership incapacitated, the remaining fleet commanders surrendered rather than face destruction. The war that had begun with a misinterpreted gesture ended with a calculated mercy. 1 month later, humanity took its place on a reformed Galactic Council. Ambassador Collins negotiated Earth's terms: open cultural exchange, technological cooperation, and a new protocol for first contact with emerging species. In a ceremony aboard the new council station, representatives from all species gathered to sign the accords. Captain Alan Frost, whose misunderstood gesture had triggered the conflict, now served as Earth's military liaison to the council. The terms of the treaty are acceptable, Zek said, now speaking as the civilian representative of a demilitarized Vrexian government. Your species has proven itself both fearsome in war and magnanimous in victory, a combination we had not encountered before. Admiral Kelly stood with Telex, watching as humans and aliens mingled, sharing ideas and cultures. It's strange, she said. They feared us because we evolved as predators with aggressive instincts. Yet in the end, it was our capacity for mercy that truly shocked them. Telex nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps what makes a species truly dangerous isn't their capacity for violence, but their ability to choose when not to use it. On Earth, memorials were built honoring both human and alien casualties of the war. Schools began teaching alien languages, and human technologies merged with advanced council science. Dr. Peters worked with scientists from a dozen worlds, studying the unique aspects of human biology that had so frightened the Vrexians. They weren't wrong about us being dangerous, he told his colleagues, but they never understood that the same adaptability that makes us dangerous also makes us excellent allies. As Earthships began exploring deeper into space under the Council's guidance, the story of the war spread throughout the galaxy. New species encountering humans for the first time approached with both respect and caution. The Vrexians had tried to contain humanity as the galaxy's deadliest species. Instead, they had catalyzed our advancement to the stars. The very qualities that made humans feared now made them valued as protectors of a more just galactic order. Captain Frost, standing on the observation deck of the council station, where it all began, watched Earthships departing for new worlds. They called us the galaxy's deadliest species, he mused. They weren't wrong, but being deadly and being destructive are not the same thing.